रघुनंदन रघुवर सेवन रघुपति चायन.
Hello engineers, welcome to the Civil Tales. BHEL previous year part 1 and part 2 already we solved, and you can get the link in the description. Now we will solve part 3, which will be from 76 to 100. So starting from question number 76, in which the following phase of temporary adjustment for different level, different steps for adjustment are same for dummy and wave level but differ for tilted level. So first of all, there are 4 phases for temporary adjustment of level. First one is setting up the instrument. Second one is leveling up. Third one is focusing the eyepiece and objective lens. And fourth one is elimination of parallax. So for now, dummy level and wave level, the leveling up process is similar and it is using foot screw. But in tilted level, we use a tilting screw which makes the process is different. Okay, 77. In India, what do the continuous white lines painted on the roads indicate? So there are two types of lines. One is single continuous line and second one is double continuous line. Okay, so single continuous line, which is denoted by the vehicle must stay within their lane and not allowed to change their lane. And second, double continuous road, it is the prohibition lane, like crossing and overtaking is strictly prohibited. So here the question single continuous line, which is indicated by the prohibition against changing the lanes. 78. According to IRC, which means Indian Road Congress, the minimum vertical clearance on urban road should be. So as per Indian Road Congress guidelines, the minimum vertical clearance for urban road should be 5.5 meter because this clearance is necessary to accommodate heavy vehicles, buses, trucks passing, flyover, etc. 79. High strength concrete grade M70 and above has several distinguishing properties that separate it from normal strength concrete. Which of the following is not a characteristic of high strength concrete? So here the first option is high durability. It resists the economical degradation including chemical attacks. Second one is reduced permeability. It due to the depth of microstructure. It prevents water ingress. So increase the sinkage. It is the higher cement content and lower water cement ratio can lead to higher sinkage. And last one is lower cement content. So this will be our answer because higher strength concrete requires a higher cementous content to achieve its desired strength and durability because it often incorporates with silica fume fly ash to enhance its performance. 80. What is defined as the ratio of the Witten area to its Witten perimeter? So hydraulic radius, which is denoted by R, is defined as A by P. Here A means cross-sectional area, P is perimeter, and this equation is represent the open channel flow. And it also influencing the flow resistance and velocity calculations. Question number 81. If a packing case is designed to hold 5 meter length of chain, how many chains can be accommodated according to IS 1492-1970? So first of all, so IS 1492-1970, it is the IS code book for the requirements for metric surveying chain and standard chain. And it is says that it is a standard packing case for 5 meter chain which is designed to hold 20 chain. This ensure ease of handling, transportation and storage while maintaining uniform packing standard. Question number 82. What is the major advantage of using timber as a construction material? So timber is widely used in construction due to its natural thermal insulation properties. So it has lower thermal conductivity, meaning it has in maintaining indoor temperature by reducing heat transfer. So option number 1, it is the cheapest construction material is available. No, it will be not the answer because it is not always cheapest. Its cost depend on types and availability. Option number 3, it is the most fire resistant material. No, this will be also not be the answer because timber is flammable, so it is not fire resistance material. Option 4, it can be used without any treatment or finishing. It will not also be the answer because it requires treatment or finishing to improve its durability. 83. Which of the following hypothesis satisfies the attraction between two closely parallel moving boards? So this principle followed by Bernoulli's equation because it states that an increase in speed of a fluid occurs simultaneously with a decrease in pressure or decrease in the fluid potential energy. So, when the boats are moving parallel to each other, the water flows between them accelerates, reducing the pressure in that region, and higher pressure of outer sides of boats pushes them towards each other, causing an apparent attraction. Also, the same principle is also observed in trains passing each other at higher speed and in aerodynamics. 84. Which chemical admixture is primary based in concrete to decrease the setting time in cold weather condition? So here we use the accelerators because this is the chemical admixture used in concrete to decrease the setting time and increase early strength gain cold weather condition. So in cold area what happened na, the low temperature slow down hydration process of cement, delaying setting time and strength development. So we use accelerate to speed up the concrete hydration. Second one is allowing fast formwork removal. Third one is reduce the risks of freezing before setting. So here option 2 is air entertaining agents. This is used improve freeze throw resistance. Radiators increase setting time and water reduction is reduced water content while maintaining work purity but do not accelerate the setting time. Okay. So next question 85. At what point within a submerged body in fluid at rest will be pressure be greatest? So here at the bottommost point of the submerged body, the pressure is greatest because when the fluid is at rest, the pressure increases with the depth due to hydrostatics pressure principle. Means here we can say P equals to P0 plus rho GH. P is pressure at a depth, P0 equals to atmosphere pressure at the surface, rho is density of fluid, G is acceleration due to gravity, and H is the depth from the fluid surface. Here is a point to be noted. The deeper a point is in the fluid, the higher the pressure. So next 86, which of the following characteristic is high for flexible pavement in region to rigid pavement? So first of all, what is flexible pavement? It is also called as asphalt roads. It is made of bituminous layers that distribute load over the wider area, but it is required frequent maintenance. Second one is rigid pavement. It is concrete road. It is in higher durability and lower maintenance need because they are structurally stronger. So flexible pavement have a shorter lifespan than rigid pavement. Pressure strength. Rigid pavement have higher flexible strength because concrete resistance to binding, force to friction. Because texture surface rigid pavement have higher friction. Next question 87. In the setting out of simple curves, which method predominantly relies on the use of a chain or tape to measure length along the tangent and curve using without necessary of establishing intermediate points through angular measurement? So the linear method for setting is relies on the use of a chain or tape to measure the length. It used to measure distance along the tangent and curve It does not require theodolite or angular observation, and it also suitable for short radius curves and cases. So Rankin's method of tangential angles, it is used to theodolite and angular measurement. Offset from chord method, it is used perpendicular offset from a chord to define curve points. And angular method using theodolite, it relies on precise angular observation rather than direct linear measurements. 88. Which of the following must be perpendicular to the vertical axis of the instrument in context of permanent adjustment of theodolite? So here, to permanent adjustment of a theodolite, certain geometric condition must be sacrificed. So the axis of plate level, this axis of plate level must be perpendicular to the vertical axis of the instrument. This ensures that when the plate level is centered, the vertical axis is truly vertical and allowing for correct horizontal measurement. The axis of altitude level, this is wrong because it should be parallel to the line of collimation, not perpendicular to the vertical axis. Line of collimation, adjustment of theodolite, it should be perpendicular to the horizontal axis but not necessary to the vertical axis. And the last one is axis of the plumb line. It should be aligned with the vertical axis, not perpendicular to it. Question number 89. Which of the following compaction method is most effective for compacting cohesive soils in layers on a construction site? C. The cohesive soil contains fine particles that retain moisture and resist compaction. Here, the seafoot roller is the most effective method to compact such soil because sheep's foot roller, it is designed to specially for cohesive soil and it has high contact pressure and best suited for layer compaction in construction projects. The vibratory plate compactor, this is best for granular soil like sand, gravel. Pneumatic tire roller, it is best for asphalt and granular soil. And the smooth wheel roller, it is suitable for surface finishing and non-cohesive soil but insufficient for deep compaction of clayey soil. Question number 90. Which of the following equation is integrated to the Bernoulli's equation? So first of all, let's take a note that Bernoulli's equation is derived from Euler's equation, and the Euler's equation definition form is dp by rho plus g dz plus v dv equals to 0. If we whole integrated to it, our equation will come p by rho g plus z plus v square by 2z equals to constant. So this will be our answer. And here you can see option number 3. This is the Bernoulli's equation because this g will be upper and lower g will be eliminated. Then the equation will become p by rho g plus z plus v squared by 2g equals to constant. And take a note that this Bernoulli's equation represent the conservation of energy per unit weight in fluid flow. Question number 91. How should lug angles is disposed when connecting the outstanding leg channel-shaped member according to standard engineering practices? So, as per IS 800-2007, which describe the general construction of steel, recommended symmetrical placement of lug angles to maintain structural integrity. It is used to provide additional strength and stiffness when connecting to outstanding leg of a channel section to another structural element. Question number 92. In the context of National Building Code NBC of Fires and Safety, which of the following statement accurately replicates the requirements of the prohibition of fire lifts in multiple storage building? So according to NBC, it has 4 key requirements for fire lifts. First one is minimum capacity of 8% or 54 kg. Second one is the lift should be enclosed within the fire resistant shafts and fireproof doors. And third one is the lift should have a dedicated and independent power supply in the time of any fire accident. This extra power supply can lift the people in exit way. And fourth one is they must serve all the floors to facilitate firefighting and rescue operation. So the fourth one will be our answer. Question number 93. Identify the recommended radius of horizontal curve beyond which super elevation is not required for camber of 2% and for design speed of 40 km per hour. So the radius beyond which super elevation not required, which is denoted by R, is v square by 127 E plus F. Here the V is velocity and also the design speed. E is super elevation. F is lateral friction factor, which is 0.15. So R equals to V means 40 square divided by 127. So when not provided the super elevation, so we can take the camper X as transit slope, means here transit slope of camper is 2%, means we can take 0.02. E equals to 0.02 plus 0.15. So if we solve, it will come on 600 divided by 21.59, and after solve it will come 550 meter. So option 3 will be our answer. 94. Which compaction method is most effective for achieving desired soil density in deep layer of soil for the construction of embankment and foundation? So the dynamic compaction is the most effective method for achieving desired soil density in deep layers of soil. So how we do dynamic compaction? It involves dropping a heavy weight of 5 to 50 tons from a height to 10 to 30 meters. This impact helped in densifying deep layers of soil, and it is used in embankments, airports and foundation improvements. Rolling compaction, it is only effective for surface layer, not deep soil. Kneading compaction, it is works only clayey soil but not suitable for deep layers. And vibofloration, it is effective for granular soil. 95. Which of the following conditions most likely to cause calvination in a centrifugal pump? So calvination in a centrifugal pump occurs when the pressure in the pump falls below the vapor pressure of the liquid, leading to formation of vapor bubbles, and these bubbles collapse violently when they move to higher pressure region, causing damage to impellers and reducing efficiency. But now the question is, why high section lift cause calvination? So section lift refers to the height of the pump must lift the liquid before it enters to impeller. And second, if the suction lift is too high, the pressure of the pump inlet drops significantly. And third, when the pressure falls below the vapor pressure, the water starts to boil, forming bubbles, and these bubbles implode when they reach higher pressure zones, leading to erosion and noise. So low pump speed, it reduces the chance of calvination by maintaining stable pressure, and high fluid viscosity, it increases the friction loss but does not directly cause to the calvination. And last and fourth one is low discharge pressure. It affects efficiency but not directly lead to calvination. Question number 96. Which of the following test is done to determine the fineness of cement? So Wagner turbidimeter test is used to determine the fineness of cement based on the principle of light scattering. It measures the specific surface area of cement by analyzing the suspension of cement particles in liquid medium. And remember, the higher the fineness, the greater the scattering of light. conduction calorimeter. It is used to measure the heat of the hydration. Vicat apparatus. It is used to determine the setting time. And last one is Blaine water permeability test. It is used to fineness but works on air permeability, not light scattering. 97. Which of the following additives is typically included in paint to increase its shelf life and stability but may raise environmental or health concern if released into the environment? So we added bioadditive agent to paint to increase shelf life and stability by preventing microbial growth, oxidation, or degradation. Solvent helps in application and drying of plants but not affect the shelf life. Plasticides, it improve the flexibility and adhesion. The pigments provide the color and opacity. Question number 98. What should be the camber of the carriageways in heavy rainfall area for thin bituminous surfacing? So first of all, what is camber? Camber is the cross slope provided on the road surface to drain rainwater efficiency and prevent water accumulation, which can lead to skidding and pavement damage. For thin bituminous surfacing, a camber of 2.5% is recommended. Enhance surface runoff while maintaining diving safely. 2.0 to 2.5%. This percentage is suitable for moderate rainfall areas. 1.7 to 2%. This is too flat to heavy rainfall and may lead water segregation. Fourth one is 2%. It is best for normal rainfall but insufficient for heavy rainfall conditions. So here is question number 99. In the moment distribution method, what does the distribution factor DF at the joint depend on? So let's take a page, learn in details. So the distribution factor DF equals to K by summation of K. And here K is the relative stiffness of each member connected to the joint and also the stiffness of member. K equals to EI by L. This higher stiffness attracts more movement and the length of member L is the longer member have lower stiffness. And take a note, if there is a multiple joint, the sum of their stiffness determines the distribution factor of each member. So option number 1, the fixed end moment of the member, it affects the initial condition. The length of the member framing into the joint, it will affect the stiffness. The external load applied of the member, it will affect the bending moment. And the relative stiffness of members to framing into the joint, because distribution factor is determined by the relative stiffness EI by L of the members meeting at a joint. Question number 100. The frictional torsional bulking strength of the single angle load in compression through one of its of legs may be evaluated using the equivalent tenderness ratio. So the equivalent tenderness ratio means lambda E is mainly influenced by the yield stress ratio. It impacts the bulking strength but indirectly. Option 2, weight of two legs of the angles, it affects the stability of the section, the radius of gyration about minor axis. It impacts the bulking of strength, but the edge-to-edge length of the supporting member does not significantly contribute to the equivalent tenderness ratio. So this will be our answer. So thank you, engineers. Thank you for stay connected. Thank you for the support. Be sure you are following the channel.